There's one toxic trait that Etsy sellers have that stops them from getting sales. And it's something most sellers don't realize. You probably have it too. And what makes it so frustrating is it's not about your product. Your product actually might be great. The problem is no one is seeing it. And this one bad habit is stopping your listings from getting found and getting purchased. And today I'm going to break down exactly how this is affecting your shop, and I'll show you how to fix it immediately. Now, I've worked with over 6,000 Etsy sellers, from people just starting Etsy shops to people making over $1 million a year on the platform. And when I do shop audits, the same patterns show up over and over again. And they're trying to do the right thing, but these habits are actually working against them. The first one is chasing holidays before you have traction. You're chasing Mother's Day, you're chasing Father's Day, you're chasing 4th of July. And I know this sounds counterintuitive. Holidays, they feel like an opportunity, right? Everyone's buying, it's a clear theme, it's easy to follow the theme. The problem is the holiday passes and those listings die. There is a guarantee that that listing will become dead weight in your shop, and you have a very limited time that it can actually get real sales. Your focus should be creating listings that have the potential to sell long-term for you. Otherwise, you are in a start-stop mode, and how do you ever get traction when none of your listings can ever truly gain momentum? So how do we fix this? We audit your shop right now, and if more than 30% of your listings are tied to holidays, and if you're under 100 sales, pull it back, rein it in, pump the brakes, because we need to build that evergreen foundation first. And then once we have momentum, we have at least 100 sales, then we can layer in some seasonal listings. Okay, imagine you've cut out the holiday listings, your foundation is evergreen, but here's the next version of this toxic trait, and it's actually in your photos. Specifically, this toxic trait is having too many props. A candle, a linen napkin, maybe some dried eucalyptus or silver dollar eucalyptus, a pair of Converse sneakers or sunglasses. These props are aging your listings in real time. The props that looked nice and current 18 months ago, they now make your listing look super outdated. And when a listing looks outdated, buyers scroll right past it. Even if your actual design was exactly what they're looking for, they're going to feel like the product isn't for them. So your goal should be making your product the focus and not adding in anything that detracts from that focus. No excessive styling. And if you have to include props, then you better be swapping these out frequently enough so that you're never more than one season behind. If you are sourcing your mockups from Printify or the first page of Etsy's mockups, then you are already way too late. So the most successful print-on-demand shops that I work with, they are making their own mockups with Nano Banana. These look branded and elevated and very custom, and this difference alone can increase the click-through rate dramatically on a listing. So once you fix that, your photos are going to be cleaner and more elevated. But this next toxic trait is preventing people from even seeing your items in the first place, and this lives in your SEO. And this is the most common SEO mistake that I'm seeing in 2026, and it is using Etsy's titles. Those will absolutely tank your traffic. If you've adopted those titles, comment below. How did that work out for you? What we have done is case studies where we've duplicated the listing, the exact same listing, compared to the super short titles from Etsy, only the SEO was different, and my goodness, the traffic was more than 10 times higher on the originals. So the key is we're not doing short tail keywords, and we're not keyword stuffing. We are focused on long tail keywords, which are 3 or more words. So we want 8 sets of long tail keywords that are unique per listing. So these are describing what the product is, who it's for, what it's for, where it lives, and how it really fits into someone's life. Instead of titling a print just digital wall art, you would want to write something like floral bedroom wall decor, flower print, light pink, wildflower wall hanging, office decor, botanical print for girl room. That single title is capturing actually 9 unique long tail keywords, and that is 9 different opportunities for someone to find your listing. Now, let's say that you make your SEO stronger. There is actually another toxic trait that might be crushing your conversion rate, making none of your viewers buy the product. And this is using ChatGPT to write your listing descriptions. I know, everyone's using AI, and I am not anti-AI. We use AI heavily in different parts of the business in very specific ways. I'm really anti-lazy AI. And there is a specific way that ChatGPT writes your product descriptions that is actively hurting your shop. ChatGPT defaults to a flowery, adjective heavy, paragraph-dense writing style. That super dense paragraph is like a wall of text that no one is reading, and people just leave. We have helped thousands of Etsy shops increase their conversion rates after fixing descriptions. And this pattern, it's so consistent. A photo might be compelling enough to get someone to click in, but then the thing that loses the sale, it's the rest of the listing, and it can be the description. Instead, how do we fix this? We want to make sure that the top of your description, the first couple sentences, are SEO heavy. And then we are doing a mobile optimized structure. Did you know you can bold things in your descriptions? Yes, that is possible. The first lines of your description should absolutely answer the most important pre-purchase questions. Is this a digital product or physical product? How would it be shipped? When would it be shipped? How does customization work? What are the size options? What are the care instructions? And so we're not writing a novel. All right, now this last toxic trait is probably limiting your revenue more than any of the others. And this is building your shop around one type of product, a t-shirt shop, a sweatshirt shop, a candle shop. You, the seller, might find something that you enjoy making, you get into a rhythm, and you just keep going. And the problem with a one product shop is not just about, oh, there's not much variety to look at. It's really about the customer strategy. And it's very difficult to create repeat customers. And if that category or that product softens, you're exposed to a lot of risk. How many times per month are they buying a mug from the exact same Etsy shop? Probably once. This is a transaction. When you acquire customers, you have to keep acquiring new customers and chasing new transactions. Instead, we want to acquire a customer and then serve them for 4 to 7 years. It is so much easier to focus on making more money, selling more stuff to one person than it is to find new customers every single month to try to convert. That is what makes a shop grow like a snowball, because they acquire customers and they keep selling more to their current customers while simultaneously acquiring new customers. So if your shop is currently a one product shop, the first step is to figure out, what else does this type of customer buy? What other problems do they have that they're coming to Etsy to solve? And that is where your next product category lives. Now, all of these things are fixable. Most of them you can fix this week. But what I want you to understand is that these are the most common mistakes I see people making. They become really bad habits that compound, and then you're wondering, why am I not seeing results on Etsy? And you have no idea why. And if you keep doing more of what's not working, it will not make it work. Now, the good news is when you make changes, the results show up pretty quickly. And if you're wanting a deeper dive into some strategy on what to sell, who to sell to, I do have a 60-minute masterclass coming up. It's totally free. We will put the QR code up on the screen to get a free seat in one of my classes. I'd love to have you there. All right, everyone, I will see you in my next video.